What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Real Talk Recovery, where we talk about recovery from addiction and I share my life with you. My name is Nicole. I'm a person in recovery. My sobriety date is July 13th of 2015. In this video, you guys, we are going to talk about, I'm doing my skincare also. In this video tonight, we are going to talk about how to help someone that is in denial. How to help someone that is in denial. Now, I'm sure many of you guys have been through this experience with a loved one who is struggling with the disease of addiction, who just isn't ready to admit that they're struggling, right? And I want to share with you guys what I used to do. What I used to do when I would have a friend or a loved one that was in denial, what I used to do was I used to go to them and confront them, call them out, tell them, I know that you're using drugs. I know that you're getting high. Okay? For the first 2 or 3 years of my YouTube channel, that's what I would do. I would go to them and I would confront them, tell them I knew what they were doing, tell them I was on to them, and that they need to get help before they die because they're going to die. Right? And that I was dead set on that was the only way that you could help somebody, right? And that's what I did. And guess what happened? I pushed away more people than I helped. I pushed away more people than I helped. What do you mean you pushed away more people than you helped? I mean what I said. I pushed people away. I put people on the defense. So if you want to truly learn how to help somebody who is in denial about their addiction, stick around and listen up. Because I have personal lived experience with helping somebody turn their life around that was in denial. Okay? You're probably going, well, who was it, Nicole? Who was it? Well, I've helped my husband turn his life around. I've helped many of you guys turn your lives around. Okay? That were in denial. I helped my sister turn her life around. I helped my friend turn his life around. Helped my cousin turn his life around. So, and these people were in denial about their addiction. Okay? So first and foremost, you guys, how many of you guys have somebody that you care about in your life that is in straight up denial of their disease? Anybody? Anybody dealing with a loved one who is in absolute denial? If you are, you're not alone. Everybody goes through it. Everyone has a loved one that's just not ready to admit the struggle of addiction, right? Who wants to admit complete defeat? How many of y'all had heard this before? In the Big Book of Alcoholics Anonymous, it says, who wants to admit complete defeat? Who wants to admit that we are mentally and spiritually different than our fellows? Okay? Who wants to admit that? Who wants to say, yeah, there's something about me that isn't like everyone else and I can't use drugs. When I use drugs, I break out in handcuffs and felonies. When I use drugs, I go to prison. When I use drugs, I have affairs, right? No, not yet, Mary. I'm going to in January. I'm going to Dr. B's. He's going to help me. We're going to record it. When I do it, I'm going to record it so y'all will be able to watch it. Okay. So, yeah, there we go. So I had been in denial for a short time at the beginning of my addiction, but not for very long because I've always known that I was fucking up. You know what I mean? I always knew that I was fucking up. So, like I was telling you guys at the beginning of the video, 1 milligram. Like I was telling you guys at the beginning of the video, I used to go to a person that was in denial and say, I know that you're using drugs. I know that you're using drugs and you need to get sober. If you don't get sober, you're going to die. Okay? And every single time I would do that, they would run. They would get angry. They would cuss at me. They would tell me I don't know what I'm talking about. They would say, you know, you're pushing me away. I don't feel like I can trust you. I can't talk to you about these things. You don't understand what I'm going through. And I'm a drug addict in recovery. Okay, so I know what the person is going through. I know exactly what they're going through. Okay, and that's what would happen when I would go up and say, hey, you need to make a change. I know you're fucking up. I know you've been relapsing. I know you have been. I've been watching it, right? I've been watching you relapse. And when I would do that, people would get so pushed away from me. I did that, and I would push everybody away. Nobody wanted my help. Guess what I started doing instead? If you have a loved one who's in denial about their disease, you don't go to them and you say, I know that you're using drugs. You don't do any of that. You go to them and you say, hey, I love you. And I want to start spending time together. From now on, I want to make a once a week get together with you so we can talk about what you're going through, what you're struggling with, if you're struggling with anything. And I just want to get to know you. I just want to get to know my best friend. I just want to get to know my brother or sister. I just want to get to know my mom or dad, right? You don't go in there telling them that, you know, they're getting high. You don't go in there telling them that that the tough love and trying to beat them down with the damn Bible and the big book, you guys. You go to them with an open heart and an open mind. Because it's like coming into a place and accusing somebody of stealing your purse. Okay, it's like walking in and saying, hey, you stole my purse. You automatically start accusing somebody of stealing your purse. They're going to say, no, I didn't. I didn't steal your purse. What are you talking about, man? Okay, instead what you do is you sit down and you build a rapport with a person. You build a relationship with that person. You let that person know that they can trust you. You show that person that they can trust you, okay? If you're willing, if you really want to help make a difference in somebody's life that's struggling with a disease of addiction, okay, and you've tried everything, try being there for them. Try not judging them. Try not looking down your nose like you're perfect, okay? Try it. Try it. You can't step to somebody and say, I know you're getting high. I know you're relapsing. Because when it all comes down to it, you guys, the only way we know if somebody's getting high or relapsing is if we're with them and we see them, right? We can't read minds. We can't. Sorry, guys, I can't answer that phone. I know who it is. And so that's why we have to be there to support them. So if you're serious about helping somebody that's in denial, you need to start trying to get to know that person. You need to get to know that person, and you need to build a friendship with that person. So that way they can trust you. And maybe they'll open up to you. Maybe they'll open up to you and tell you what they've been struggling with. See, a lot of people on the internet nowadays have forgotten where they've come from. They've forgotten what it's like to struggle with the disease of addiction because they've been sober for a while. Okay? They've forgotten that it's shameful, that it makes them uncomfortable, that it makes them sad, that it makes them depressed, that they feel alienated, that they feel no good, that they're hurting. Okay? People forgot that. I haven't forgotten that. And that's why, like, I really work hard, you guys. If you guys haven't noticed, anybody that is using drugs, that is on the internet that I know, if I think in the back of my mind that person is using drugs, I keep it to myself. I keep it to myself, right? But I am the first person to comment to that person, give them my phone number, let them know that I'm here for them, tell them to give me a call sometime, we can hang out. And I want to help them because you know what? First and foremost, I want that person, if they're still using, I want them to use safely. I want them to make sure that they have Narcan. I want them to make sure that they have clean syringes or clean utensils that they're using with. Okay? I want them to make sure that they're practicing harm reduction that they're not spreading, hepatitis C, HIV, or anything like that, or harming themselves. Okay, never use alone. Like, these is all things. Some people would say, Nicole, that's enabling. No, it's not. That person is going to use drugs whether you say something or not. What I'm hoping to help that person do is, if they use drugs, I want to help them so they don't die. I want to help them so that way in 2 weeks, if they say, I've had enough of this shit, I want to get sober, they can say, hey, Nicole, man, yeah, you were the only person who didn't judge me for being fucked up. You were there for me when no one else was. Will you help me get sober? That's how recovery is done. Okay? That's how recovery is done. When you have no personal connection to people on the internet, you let them know, you plant a seed, you let them know you're there for them, you provide them with harm reduction resources, and that is how it's done. And I'm telling you right now, you guys, everything that I'm telling you guys that I've learned to do is I've been taught by Dr. B, I've been taught by Alexis, I've been taught by other people in recovery. And so I truly used to be just like some other people. I used to say, guess what? You're enabling that person. Guess what? You must not really want to be sober, right? Oh, guess what? You're just hurting and harming that person, right? You're enabling them. That's not enabling, okay? Dead people don't recover. Dead people don't recover. Bashing somebody until they get sober is not how people get sober. And dead people don't get sober. So that is my take on helping someone that's struggling with denial. And just so you guys know, some Tom, Dick, or Harry off the internet isn't usually going to be a person that gets through to somebody that's in heavy denial of their addiction. Okay? It's surely not going to be somebody on the internet that they've never talked to in real life who can't even show their own face on their avatar, So it's really takes a lot of connecting with somebody and building that trust with that person. And so whenever you guys think, oh, Nicole, you're just enabling so-and-so, you're just doing that, I just want you guys to think, okay, maybe I have something that you guys don't know about. Maybe I've been working on something for a while. And maybe that you're just going to have to sit back and let God do his work. And that dead people don't recover. Support and love addicted addicts until they can love themselves. So, and that goes for any addict out there that's still using. There's a girl on TikTok that I absolutely am obsessed with. I love her so much, you guys. Her name is Fentanyl Fairy, okay? Her real name is Jess. I actually have her cell phone number. We actually are friends outside of TikTok. And she is on MAT and she's still doing fentanyl. The other day, she came onto her account and she told everybody, like, I don't know if I'm going to stay on MAT because I can't stop using my drug of choice, right? And she got shamed by so many women. Women saying, you're just taking advantage of the Suboxone or the methadone clinic. You don't really want to be sober, blah, 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 blah. You guys, she's doing exactly what what she's doing is she's using methadone while she uses fentanyl, and hopefully what will happen is she'll slowly ease off the fentanyl, okay? Slowly ease off the fentanyl and then just be completely on the methadone, right? So she's doing a great job. And judging her and telling her, you're taking advantage. So many people need to shut up and think about circumstances. You don't know what's going on in somebody else's life. Some people are so cruel, dude. They're so cruel. I'm so proud of her for getting on the MAT program and being willing to even go to it. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so fucking proud of her, you guys. When I tell you, this girl lost her finger from shooting up. Okay? She lost her pinky finger from shooting up. I actually made a video about it because she had showed it on camera when it was black. Her whole finger was black because it died. The finger died. And it was so fucking sad, dude. But she posted the video to bring awareness to help people to not, you know, be shooting up in their arteries. And it was really, really a really good video. And so I see people shaming her, you know. Then there's another girl on TikTok. Her name is Shitting Rainbows. And she's been struggling, going back and forth between using and staying sober, using and staying sober. And people are shitty to her. You know what I mean? Like, why are people like that? You guys, like, do you remember when you were in active addiction? Like, do you not remember when you were lying, cheating, stealing? Okay? Like, I really want people to ask themselves that. Like, why are we so hard on people after we get sober? Why do people in recovery feel like they need to hold addicts that are struggling to some relentless, unheard of standard that you wouldn't even hold yourself to that standard? You know, and I'm telling you, it all comes down to a lack of empathy and compassion. A lack of empathy and compassion. Absolutely horrible, you know? Absolutely horrible. And it's sad. And I also want you to think about this. I saw what you said about not being online. A lot of us weren't online because there was no such thing as TikTok back then, right? But there was Facebook, and we were taking pictures of ourselves all fucked up. Honey, I got pictures of myself on Facebook. I look crazy as hell. Okay? And I thought that I looked so fine. I thought that I looked so fine. Okay? Y'all act like y'all ain't got no Facebook memories when you were fucked up looking crazy. Okay? Don't forget where, and that's what I'm talking about. Forgetting where you come from. You can't tell me you ain't never went out in public fucked up. Okay? Ain't ever been at the bar so drunk that you were hungover the next day, fell asleep out in the parking lot. You know, remember, humble yourself. Remember where we came from, you guys. We've all done some bad shit in our addiction, you know, and I really hope you guys are like listening to what I'm saying, because that's the only way we're going to be able to help people, is if we open our hearts and we be more compassionate and understanding. And remember what we talked about last night? Principles before personalities, okay? So, instead of looking at the person as, oh, that's Joe, I can't stand Joe. Don't look at him as Joe. Look at him as a human being who's struggling and needs help. Don't look at him as the person that you don't get along with or you don't like. Okay? Don't look at him like that. Look at him as a human being who's sick and suffering. Okay? Don't pass judgment on them because of the thoughts and the relationship that you might have had with that person beforehand. Okay? Pull all that bias away. Pull all that bias away and be there for that person no matter what. Right? If you can do that, you guys, you are well on your way to being able to help anyone. Anyone. Okay? I was talking on the phone today because I get a lot of phone calls. Every single day, my phone rings off the hook, okay? And one of my girls called me today, and she said on the phone while we were talking, she said, I can't even imagine all the stories that you hear every day. And I got to thinking about it, and I was like, you know what? She's right. Like, I hear a lot of stuff, and it's traumatic. It's hard. Sometimes I want to cry when I get off the phone with people, y'all, because I feel helpless. I feel like, what else can I do? You know what I mean? How else can I be of service to that person? And I can't I can't do everything. I can only do so much, you know? So anyways, it makes me sad. It makes me sad. Uh, but anyway, I wanted to come on. I wanted to talk to you guys about denial. Um, I was in denial too at a point in my life, in my addiction. So I can totally, cheese pizza, I can totally relate and understand what people that are in denial are going through. But I'm not in denial no more, honey. I'm wide awake. I know exactly what I struggle with now. And I try to help other people so that way they don't struggle too. And there's one thing for certain, like anyone can reach out to me, and that's why I try to be kind to anyone, no matter what stage of their addiction they're in, because I never know when somebody is going to reach out to me and need help. And I've had people, you guys, who you never would have thought that they would have reached out to me, but they reached out to me. And even though we had like disagreements in the past, I never let that hinder me from being able to help somebody. If somebody doesn't like me, but they need help, they can come to me and I will help them. I will give them my all. I will save their ass. Cheers. Cheers to the Gatorade. So, my sponsor taught me that. She told me a story one time. There was this other girl. They both had like 20 years sober, right? And they were like rivals at the AA meeting. Well, the other lady relapsed. And when she wanted to get sober, she came to my sponsor and she said, even though we haven't seen eye to eye, I can't think of anyone else that I would trust to help me get sober than you. And so my sponsor started sponsoring her and took her through the steps and she got sober. But when it comes down to life and death, like, you got to put that bullshit to the side. Like, do you want to die or do you want to live? So, okay. I hope you guys enjoyed that video today about denial. I hope you guys are all having a great night. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns, go ahead and let them be known now or forever hold your peace. It's hard to hide it now because fentanyl is such a strong drug. It's not like you could just come online and be high on it without totally nodding out in front of everybody, you know? But just because somebody is high and nodding out doesn't give us permission to, you know, judge that person or look down on that person. I gotta tell y'all something that happened today. And it's a direct result of all the people that were trolling me on my channel last night. People tried to get me fired from my job today. They contacted both of my bosses. And I just have to tell y'all, I have the best bosses in the world. I have the best bosses in the world, and they 100% support me. They are 100% behind me. I have the names of a lady that emailed one of my bosses, and then another lady who messaged, I think, on Facebook or Instagram. And so I know exactly who these people are. And It was so funny because what they tried to say was, I'm giving dangerous information about addiction, which you guys know Dr. B. He came on my channel the other night. He is like my biggest supporter, and he called me on the phone today, and I told him what was going on. And he goes, I'm not even going to ask you any questions because I know that I trust you, and I know it's nothing, and I know that you're doing the right thing. And I said, I do want to tell you, though. I do want to tell you what happened. And so I told him, there's a group of people on the internet who want me to denounce a girl who they say is still getting high, and they say I support her. And he said, well, what else are you supposed to do when somebody's struggling with a disease of addiction? You're doing exactly what you're supposed to do, Nicole. That was great. That felt good to hear that. Because I know in my heart that I'm doing the right thing, but hearing it from both my bosses, it was really important to me. Now, people have done this another time on the internet, and it worked out the same way it's working out right now. That my bosses know me, and they know my heart, and they know my intentions, and then they know that I'm here and I'm just trying to help people, And so I do want to say one thing. If you're one of those people who contacted my job just because you don't like me, you need to get help, because I have a child, I have a husband, I have a home, I have a car, I have insurance payments, I have my whole life and I'm responsible. I work full time. And so by trying to attack my job, you could have really harmed my whole family, not just me. And that's not a game. It's not a game. So let it be known, if you are one of the people that did that, I know who you are. One of the ladies' name starts with a V, and the other lady's name starts with a B. And so I know exactly who you are. I know exactly what your accounts are, everything. And it's just it's so unfortunate, because it's okay to not agree with the way I support somebody, and that's fine. That's fine if you don't agree with that. But to try and hurt me and get me fired from my job because you don't agree with someone that I support, you don't go into real life over some BS drama on the internet. And so a lot of you guys are really sick. Really sick. And to those of you guys that are supporting me and are always here supporting me, it means so much to me. I see you, I hear you. Thank you so freaking much. And yeah, I'm going to make thumbnails for these videos now, and I'll see y'all on the flip side.